The day I woke up was supposed to be the dramatic climax of this trashy Hollywood melodrama. According to the script, I should have been wearing a limited edition couture gown at the Metropolitan Museum's charity gala, publicly dousing Gavin Harrington's fiancée, Bella Whitmore, with a glass of vintage red wine. Then, I was meant to break down in hysterical sobs, screaming, "I've loved you longer, we've known each other for 10 years. Then, Gavin would coldly shove me aside, delivering the killing blow. "Maddie, you make me sick." The next morning, the headlines would be brutal. Number, Maddie Beckett desperate. Number, Harrington Industries blacklist Maddie. Number, Maddie Becketti's over. 3 months later, my family's business would go bankrupt. I would lose my mind and eventually freeze to death on a snowy night outside a psych ward. But right now, I'm standing in the wings of the gala, clutching the very glass of Cabernet I'm destined to throw, staring at my perfectly contoured reflection in the vanity mirror. "Miss Beckett, Mr. Harrington has arrived. Miss Whitmore is on his arm," my assistant, Jo, whispered, her eyes brimming with pity. She knew how much I supposedly loved Gavin, a love so consuming I'd lost my dignity, my friends, and my sanity. I blinked, then tipped the glass back and drained the wine in one go. "Not bad," I remarked, smacking my lips. "Hey, 82 vintage. The Harringtons really didn't skimp on the bar tonight." Jo froze. "Maddie, that was a prop." For the scene, prop or not, I was thirsty. I shoved the empty glass back into her hand. "By the way, call the PR team for this dress. I'm keeping it. Put it on my personal tab. You're not gonna find Mr. Harrington." I touched up my lipstick in the mirror. A limited edition Chanel red. It was bold, lethal. Before today, I'd only ever worn pale nudes to look innocent for him. Why would I? "He's not going to reimburse me for the dry cleaning," I said, fluffing my train. "Let's go. I heard the catering tonight is by a Michelin star chef. I'm starving." Jo looked like she'd seen a ghost. I stepped into the ballroom, my 4-inch stilettos clicking rhythmically against the marble. The spotlights found me instantly. After all, I was the designated villainess of the evening. Gavin and Bella were at the center of the room, the quintessential power couple, basking in the sycophantic praise of the elite. Bella was in white, looking ethereal and fragile, like a lily about to wilt in a light breeze. Per the script, this was my cue to charge. Instead, I plucked a miniature Wagyu slider from a passing waiter's tray and found a plush velvet sofa in a quiet corner. The slider was incredible. The truffle aioli was perfect. I closed my eyes, savoring the richness, completely ignoring the fact that half the room was whispering behind their hands, waiting for the explosion. Why hasn't she moved? Maybe she's playing hard to get? I heard she was willing to trade her father's shares just for a date with him. The gossip drifted over like a foul scent. I didn't care. I reached for a macaron. Gavin eventually noticed my lack of initiative. He kept glancing toward my corner, his brow furrowed in a mix of confusion and annoyance. He was probably wondering why his #1 stalker wasn't following the plan. Bella tugged gently on his sleeve, whispering something. Gavin shook his head and began walking toward me. "Here it comes, the narrative's corrective force." I finished my last bite of dessert and daintily wiped my mouth with a silk napkin. "Maddie." Gavin stopped in front of me, his voice as icy as a New York winter. "What kind of game are you playing now?" I looked up objectively. Gavin had the credentials of a leading man, tall, broad-shouldered, with the kind of bone structure that made photographers weep. Unfortunately, the author had nerfed his brain to make him a stubborn egomaniac. "Mr. Harrington," I smiled. "Can I help you?" He flinched, clearly not expecting the polite distance. "I'm warning you. Don't you dare try anything with Bella if you do. If I do, you'll ruin my career."